Okay. Okay. Hi. Welcome to hot yoga. We'll be hot yoga. We'll be getting into a very cooling and grounding practice today. I have noticed that my anxiety levels are really high when things get hot, and I was trying to identify what's going on there, because once you name something, you have an easier time working with it. And I noticed that the heat was really difficult for me the previous week, because we had this news, right? We had this forecast hey, it's going to be super hot. And it's useful to have the forecast, it's useful to have the news. So I knew I was going to have to make adjustments to the way I was living and teaching. I knew I just needed to get out of my place and come here today. But getting stuck in worry about things that are not currently relevant or not actually happening right now, that is a major seat of discontent. It's the Buddha said that all of life is suffering. We're sitting here suffering about something that hasn't even arrived to suffer about yet. I was having a hard time getting out the door yesterday, and I was inflicting more pain in the heat on myself because I just kept getting really worried that I wasn't grabbing everything that I needed and I wasn't executing the right plan in order to get out the door. But when we are able to be simply in the moment, to work with this specific moment and not worry about what comes next, definitely easier said than done. But we find contentment, we find ease, we find a grounding, tuning inwards, a softness when we're here with what is. Being here, great, even if it's really, really hot. Just here, it's hot, can't do much about it, just breathe and drink water. And then if it's going to be hot tomorrow, that's tomorrow's problem. And I don't need to internalize that at this point. Into that practice of being with what is. We're going to do a lot of inward kind of focused movement to try to stir that kind of intention in our nervous system, drawing us into the present, drawing our intensity levels downwards. So we're going to start with breath. We're going to do our 2 holy breaths today. First one is Satali breath, which is the frosted chariot breath. So you make the tiny little O with your lips and then barely stick your tongue out the bottom. Just breathing it out for that very, very tiny little point. In, nice and slow. And out. 3 more times like that. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Try to keep those breaths as long as you can. Relax your lips and take a nice, easy breath in through your nose. Nice, easy exhale through your mouth. We'll get into the face brushing, so taking your index finger and thumb together, coming to the center of your forehead, brushing outwards towards your temples a few times. Then going from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones. Temples down to your chin, along your jawline. From the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh line. Massaging underneath and behind your ears. Lifting up from the bony spot behind your ears. Letting your head float up a little bit higher in space, lifting your spine a little bit longer. Take a nice, long, easy breath in. Relax your hands down into your lap, easy exhale. We take a few more breaths in center practice. I'll offer this mudra. You're going to take the index finger and the thumb together. This is a mudra of completion and of wholeness. stillness, which is also very grounding and helps us to be here with what is. And then you're going to place the hands down on your legs. So again, turning inwards, finding a little bit more softening and slowing down. As we are taking just a few more breaths, starting to prepare the body for practice, prepare the mind for practice. See if you can notice what you're feeling right now. Tune in with how the temperature of the air feels. Maybe there's a breeze going on from a fan or something in your home. There's something you can smell or something you can hear in the background. Taking in as many details about this moment as you can. And next time you breathe in, nice and full through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. As you open your eyes, if you are already seated up in a chair, you can press hang out where you're at here. Down on your bum, now take your legs and swing them over towards your right side. Just have this little twist. I've got my shin in my foot. I'm gonna move it around a little bit. A little massage to the foot. You can also do that if you be pressing one of your feet on top of the other foot, just moving it around a little bit. And relax it. I'm going to take your right hand over towards your left knee. I'm supporting upwards with the left hand. And just a really small twist. Even if you could twist deeper, don't worry about it. Just a little bit of rotation in the center. Twists can be very heat building. Take it easy on them. Just one more exhale. Then coming back to the center, you're going to leave this hand down so that it's supporting you, and then reach your right arm out. Relax your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Feel your chin softening forward. Take an exhale. Lift your head up. Reach your arm up. Come into a little side bend over towards the left side. Relaxing your shoulder blade forward. This hip is actually up, so you might even have the room to really reach it down, getting a little bit further stretch through that side. Stay there for another exhale, and then come on up. And then if you've got your legs over to one side, just start to slide them over into the other. If you do have your leg bone in your foot, you're going to move that leg bone around a little bit. Very gentle massage into the metatarsals, foot bones. And letting that go. So just let that leg rest right there. So I'm supported up on my left arm, the right arm, take the left hand over, and then come into a twist. That's a small one. Softening the belly still. One more breath in. Deep breath out. Release your twist. You want to stay propped up on this arm. Reach your left arm up. Side bend. Reaching your hip down. One more exhale. And coming up, I think I did the opposite order of this last time. You're going to reach the arm out. There's a dog there. Jezebel, can you sit literally anywhere else? Thanks. All right, one more exhale. And then come back up, release your arm. She's confused. She's like, I don't hang out at this house a lot. What's going on? Okay, we're gonna take the legs and open them out wide. So just a little bit more space between them. Take your hands back behind you. So you're using your hands to support you. You're gonna roll the shoulders back. Your chest up and forward, maybe even looking upwards as if a nice, kind, gentle 75-degree sun were smiling at you. Just gonna manifest that for the rest of the summer. One more inhale and soften as you exhale. And then you're gonna take your right hand down onto your right leg, reach your left arm up and over. A little bit different side bend. Maybe you can still feel that hip dropping down on the left side. One more exhale. And then lift yourself up and take a twist over this leg. And start with your spine getting long. And you want to think of your sternum, the very center of your chest, rolling over to face your knee. So I'm really not going very far forward. Trying to stay pretty vertical here. One more exhale. And then go ahead and soften that spine. So you're going to start to round forward. Now there's a difference between rounding and hunching it this way and letting things soften forward. So kind of long spine still, but don't worry about it being straight. Just going to relax over this leg. Take a breath in. Let the body soften when you exhale. One more round like that. Softening the body when you breathe out. Start to walk your hands back. Turn over towards your other, take your other arm up and over. Reverse everything the whole way through. So we're reaching the right hip down, extending that arm up and over. Big inhale. Big exhale. Coming up and taking that lifted twist. I'm going to come straight up and down as best I can, turning over so that my heart starts to go towards the knee. Breathing out. Relaxing forward to whatever space is available to you. When you exhale, see if the sensation changes. That gesture of softening in the breath, and see if that carries into the rest of the body. One more breath out. Start to walk things back in. We're going to take the hands behind the back again, give a little bit more lift to the chest, roll the shoulders back. Maybe your gaze turns slightly upwards. Take a big inhale. Soften your throat, exhale. Maybe you feel a little bit more room open up on your next breath in. And then relax that shape, relax the chest back inwards. We're going to take the hands forward. You can stay here. Maybe you decided having the hands behind you was a little bit more supportive. If you want to walk it forward any further, come to a place where you can just feel a little bit of something, not to your max, but instead of trying to drive forward into shapes, today see what you can soften once you get there. Take a breath in. Soften when you exhale. One more round of breath like that. So walk your hands back. Bring the legs in. And then hold on. Hold on behind your legs. Just go ahead and round the back. And then drop your chin into your chest. You see, I am doing that rounding in my spine. You can actually like curl back in your lower abs. If that feels okay to you, if your back has that kind of flexibility, you're really going to drop those lower abs back. One more exhale. Back up. You're going to lower all the way back down onto your back. Scooch back there. Go ahead and come down and bring your knees into your chest a little bit wider. So let them be on their own. So maybe kind of like happy baby, or maybe just like holding independent thighs towards your chest instead of knees being together. So you get a little bit of room there. Same thing here on your exhale, let things soften. One more time, exhale and let things soften. And release the left leg down, hold your right leg in, take an inhale. Soften your right hip crease as you exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out. Relaxing that a little bit. You're going to extend the leg. Don't worry about getting it super straight today unless you happen to have a strap or you happen to have the desire or the motivation to be really intensive about it. You can leave the leg bent. Don't worry about it getting totally straight. Just going to hold on to the leg. Bring it into your body until you feel something. It doesn't have to be a lot of something. Let it be just a little bit of something. And then as you exhale, let that shift happen. So rather than trying to anxiously direct a huge stretch or a big action, especially since when we're really warm, we tend to be a little bit more flexible, but not necessarily in a way that prevents injury. Like the body just kind of like flops into places it's not ready to. So just let your body soften into places it might be ready to. More exhale. And then you're going to reach up, you're going to bend into your knee, you're going to try to hold on to your ankle. And let your left hand go wherever you want to. Maybe you put it on your left hip to remind things to try to stay balanced. Just take one more exhale. Relax your leg. Go ahead and set your foot down. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider. Open your arms in a way that is comfortable to you. And just take a leisurely roll of your knees side to side. Noticing the way that your two hips probably feel drastically different. And then start to go back to center. Wiggle your feet in just a little bit. And then take your left knee, tuck it in, take an inhale. Soften that left hip crease. Inhale. Soften as you exhale. One more time like that. Then take your leg, extend it out. Don't worry about getting it straight. You don't have to, you could just leave it bent if you really wanted to. But if you can extend the leg, a little bit of action here, but not too crazy. Draw the leg into you until you feel a little bit of something, and then exhale, soften into that. It's like you're slowly giving your body permission to find a little bit more stretch. Easing into it, just letting it creep up gradually. One more exhale. And releasing. your leg, you're gonna reach up and try to hold on to your ankle. Take your right hand and put it on your right hip if that's helpful. Anything that you want to do with that right hand that's helpful, go for it. Soften that hip crease as you exhale. One more breath out. And release your foot down. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider. Open those arms in a way that's comfortable to you. And then gently, slowly let your knees roll from side to side. The next time you take the knees over to the second side, land back in center, let your knees knock against each other, and place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. Coming back to your breath, nice and slow, nice and smooth. Cooling the central nervous system, both in temperature and in intensity, slowing down and being just right here, right now. One more exhale. Start to open your eyes. We're going to roll over onto our bellies here. We're going to end up doing a shoulder stretch. And if you're not laying on your belly, if you just want to kind of take your arm and move it like around the back of your chair, and then take a little shoulder stretch that way, that could be a nice alternative. So come down on your belly. We'll start off just resting forward. So if you're seated, go ahead and bring the backs of your hands into your head still. And if you're laying down, go ahead and drop your head down onto the backs of your hands. Your next exhale, let your body get heavy. We'll try that again. Breathe in, and on your exhale, let your body get heavy. And you'll take one arm out to your side. I'm gonna go with this one. I've got my hand out just about from my shoulder. It's a weird thing with the video there, it's okay. So bow hand out from the shoulder, palm facing down. Look over towards the other side, slide that hand under your shoulder, rest your head, and then start to roll the hip back. So I've got my left arm out, that way I'm rolling my right hip back. I've just got my leg out in a way that's comfortable. Sometimes a little bit more of a kickstand can be a bit easier on the hips and the low back. So you can always change this up and modify it to suit just what you need from your practice today. Let something soften when you exhale. One more exhale to soften. And then rolling over onto your belly, you're going to slide the extended hand in, reach the other arm out, rest your head. You're going to look away from the extended arm and then roll the top leg back. Let something soften when you breathe out. One more exhale. And rolling over onto your belly. You do just one pose on our knees, which will be words, puppy dog pose. So you're gonna press up your hips above knees, reach your arms out and forward, let your heart melt down. And this bowing, stretching out through the shoulders. If you'd rather be seated, you're going to be on your bum and just take your arms, maybe reach them up to stretch your shoulders that way. That could be a good alternative. You're still here in puppy dog pose. 2 more breaths, let your tailbone turn upwards. 1 more exhale. Start to bring your hands back in. We're gonna go downward dog to standing. So spread your fingertips out, press your palms down, curl the toes under, come up and back to downward dog. Very, very stretchy mat. Just pedal through your heels a couple of times to stretch out through those calves. And then start to bring your feet up to your hands and your hands back to your feet, coming into a fold with very, very bent knees. Your knees very bent. Bring the weight onto your feet. Walk your hands up your legs as you come up to standing. If you arrive, turn things over and maybe hydrate because you're not. Good time to do that. Okay. So we'll do just a couple of standing poses, really not being up too much, but I want to get into some deeper hip folds. We're going to start off having your legs out wide, so about as wide as you can comfortably get them. This, my friend, is a very weird mat and slippery floor. You're going to keep your toes squeezing forward and come down onto fingertips here. So you can see when I'm down. So grab my legs that way. I want to encourage you to stay up on hands here, so you're not fully upside down. Yeah. So rather than folding down a lot, you've got the spine out and longer. So my hands are under my shoulders and try to keep my arms a little longer. Then you're going to press down into your feet and feel the tailbone start to roll up. Take a breath in. Maybe your tailbone rolls up a little bit more, and it's like a fraction of a degree. Just taking the pelvis and ever so slightly rolling it forward so the tailbone turns up. Got 2 more breaths. And wiggle your feet a little bit closer. Walk your hands back, take them to your legs, and start to stand up. And then you're going to bring your legs in. We're going to find warrior 1. So right foot forward, left foot back. Okay. As you reach your arms up, we're going to take our other breath practice here, moving into Sakari breath. So Satali breath is a Brahmacharya, and Sakari breath will come up because it's great. So you make a smile, and you breathe through your teeth with your lips pulled apart. So just like that. So breathe in and out through your awkward smile teeth. And next time you exhale, pull your elbows out wide. So you're doing this big stretch into your chest. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, elbows out wide. Inhale, reach the arms up. Elbows out wide. You might feel a little bit more energy from the Sakari breath than you do from the Satali breath. We've got more room to take more oxygen in, but it's being cooled, that air, by the moisture around your teeth, which is a weird thing to say. One more exhale, pulling those elbows out. And then relax your hands down. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. Probably come back to a normal breath already because it's just a very awkward thing to do. But whenever you're feeling like you need to cool down, but also get a little bit more energy in your breath, the Sakali breath, the awkward smile, that's a good alternative to the frosted Cheerio breath. Take your hips, go ahead and square them forward. You're going to start coming forward into a fold. If you want to leave your hands at your hips, you can. If you've got something out in front of you to put your hands on, go for that. If you can get those hands down to your shin without putting weight into that leg. So you need to be able to stand with the pressure on your feet. Go for it. And you're going to keep pulling that right hip gently back. Breathe real slow. This is balance work. Easy to get heated, easy to get anxious about what happens if. What happens if I go further? What happens if I fall? Well, you're not in those places yet, so being here now. Exhale. Start to walk your hands back up. Come up to standing. Go ahead and bring your feet up and forward. And then that's part of also why we're doing like really slow transitions, so we can just kind of be right there and not worry about being overheated or tired or whatnot, and Just generally having your human balance, which is fallible. We'll go into warrior one on the other side. So having your left leg bent, go ahead and reach your arms up. Let's take that awkward smile breath again for all this big action we're doing. Exhale, pull the elbows out to your side. Inhale. Exhale. And big, strong arms reaching. Elbows pulling out. Exhale. We'll take 2 more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Straighten the leg. Go ahead and relax your arms all the way down now. Take your hands to your hips to square your hips forward. Keep the front leg as straight as you can. You're going to come forward. Press both feet down. Notice if your breath has changed. Maybe slow it down again. You might take your hands out to something in front of you. Maybe you take your hands down to your shin, but you don't put any weight into your hands. All of the intention is in your feet and in your belly. Also in a long spine, a steady breath, and your front hip, your left hip pulls gently back. One more exhale. Start to lift yourself back up. Then you're going to bring both feet up and together. A little bounce into your hips. We'll take tree pose. If you wanted to be near something, if you wanted to hold on to it, go for it. We'll take one leg, you to choose. You're going to put it up on the other calf, or having your toes down on the ground is a good way to stay a little more stable. You're going to root this standing foot down and feel yourself growing up a little bit taller. Feel the fronts of your hips drawing upwards towards your belly. And then one or both of your branches are going to open up. Now look at something that's not moving so that your arms might be able to get moving. Keep grounded down into your root, your standing leg, even as there is comparative chaos going on up above. One more inhale. Exhale. Release. Bounce around. Breeze and palm trees. I went to visit California with my friend, and we were walking by, and all the palm trees were bent in the same direction. I was like, oh, look, I'm going to bend my tree pose. It was very fun. So driving the foot down, front of your hips up, reach your arms up. Reach the backs of your ears up too, so that you're long through that spine. Find something to look at that's not moving. And then maybe you play with one or both of your branches, swaying in the breeze, cultivating some cool breeze rather than whatever obnoxious hot breeze thing is going on up there. And then go ahead and release your shape, drop your arms, drop your feet, get a little bounce around into your hips. Those little shake side to side. You get very stuck, especially when we're trying to maintain balance. Do one more fold and twist to loosen this up. So you're going to go back to having widespread legs. I'm going to do it this way because it's just I can't do it. So legs out wide, taking your hands down. And I'm going to stay here in this space where I am lifted more so than anything else. I'm actually even on my fingertips, not on my palms. Take your left hand and bring it to the center of your body. Take your right hand and bring it to the small of your back. So you want to keep your back mostly flat. You're going to twist around your spine, rolling that right shoulder open, reaching your ears out of your shoulders. One more breath out. Switch sides. Coming down, placing your right hand right in the middle of your face there. Placing your left hand to the small of your back. And then twisting right around the spine as you try to keep the hips more or less stable. Roll that left shoulder open. Reach your ears away from both shoulders. One more exhale. And folding down both hands. Wiggle your feet a little bit closer. Bring your hands to your legs and stand up. Okay. We're gonna move it down now. So you're gonna come down onto a seat with your knees out wide. I'm gonna make another set adjustment here. I don't have any of my usual stuff. So it's just very, very strange. Soles of the feet together. Now hold on to your feet or your ankles, maybe even your shins, and reach your spine up as long as you can. Don't worry about getting forward. You get long here. You feel that sensation of the backs of the ears floating up, making the spine a bit longer. Long, steady breath. One more exhale. Relax this a bit. You're going to take your, where are we going? This one. Take your right leg forward and do this. So you've got your leg forward. And then we're going to start with a long spine. So hold on somewhere that's easy for you to hold on to. It might be your knee. It might even be with your hands behind you to lift up your spine. You're going to get up as tall as you can here. Lift those toes. Yeah. One more inhale. Exhale, take your heart a half an inch forward. And notice how that felt in your back. Next exhale, maybe another half an inch. And then come back up. And you want to keep your spine extended. It doesn't have to be super straight. Start to extend your spine up and forward. Go to a place where it doesn't feel super crazy to stay there. Maybe that's just here. Relaxing your chin down to your chest. But try not to be in any of the belly going back place. So when I come here where you feel a bit of something, and then exhale into that something. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, seeing how much more space is available to you when you breathe out. Start walking it back up. I'm going to bring your ankle up onto the opposite knee. Got things held up here. I'm going to hold on to the leg. So holding on to my foot and to my knee and lifting up tall. Then from this space, rolling the shoulders back and leading with the heart coming forward. Noticing where the resistance is, where the feeling comes in. I get it right here. It's like, oh no, can we go further? Oh, maybe if we soften. If we don't, who cares? Can I breathe here? That's my big question. One more exhale. One up. And then you're going to make another shift. So you're going to take your foot out so it's on the outside of your leg. Take this flesh and move it back. So maybe you've got knees stacked. I want to hold on to this. What this might look more like is the foot is planted rather than resting on the pinky toe edge of the foot. Do any of these things, just hold on to your knee, lift your chest up. You have room to come forward, go for it. If you've got your leg positioned like so, yeah, this bottom hamstring is going to get the weight of the top leg moving down. So it gets a little bit intense. If you don't have this bottom leg extended, if you're seated, it's going to be some good work in your hips. So it can be very nice with the lower back. So just come forward as much as you have available to you with ease and the ability to breathe. One more exhale. Unwind. Lift up. Send that leg out. Space again. And then you'll take your other leg up. Lift the extended toes. Start out with a long side. So put the hands back here, or hands come forward. Lifting up nice and long. And think about going a little bit further into a long, easy spine forward fold. And go to a place where you do feel a bit of something, and then breathe into that to see if you can go deeper. Even if you don't change the way that it actually looks, you just want to change the way it feels. You want to influence the way it feels. One more exhale. And then start to come up. Get more water. Goodness. Used to the air. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Put the other ankle up onto that knee. Well, hold on to things. Make sure they're not going anywhere. Really, to make sure that this knee doesn't get torqued in any way. You're going to hold on to the knee and lift the heart up and forward. Doesn't have to go far. Very quickly here. One more exhale. Relax it. Then you're going to slide the leg over more. Come over some on the pinky toe edge of the foot. You just hold on, or you hold on, or you hold on and move out over this leg. Spine, heart softening, collarbone softening, eyebrows softening. More exhale. Relaxing that fold. Unwind the legs. Bring the soles of your feet together again. You're going to take the left hand onto your left leg. Take the right hand behind you. You're just going to press this thigh down a little bit. You don't have to really ratchet things down. I like to think of moving the flesh down more than actually trying to move the leg. And then take a little open twist over towards the right, little rotation in this direction. Exhale. Relax that. Take your left hand behind you, bring your right hand onto your right thigh, and press that down. Lift up and over a little twist towards the left side. Breathing out. Relax your twist. I'm going to take the body forward over these wide legs again. Other wide thighs again. Soften into your breath out. And soften into the breath out. Come on up. Maybe two legs extending forward. Maybe adjusting your seat. You're welcome to do it wide-legged again. That can be much easier in the back to do for the hips. Or we're going to try coming forward over two straight legs, straight-ish. You can bend them. That's okay. And long, lift the chest. And then come forward and soften into a place where you can still breathe. You're not feeling panicked, like you might not be going far enough, or you might be going too far. Just come to a place that says, I am softening forward. I am able to breathe. And then from that soft exhale, maybe relaxing in a little bit deeper. Two more breaths. Start to lift yourself back up. You're going to take your legs and we're going to stretch out the front side a little bit more here. You're going to take the left shin, you're going to turn it down by your side, and then your right shin is parallel with the front of your space. So this one is parallel with the long side. Notice my foot is not by my hip. And you're going to take your hands back. Let this hip lift up. Get a good starting place. Make sure your knee stays down. If you are feeling really good about it, you can take one elbow down. If you're in a chair, the thing to do at this point is to slide that one thigh back, like maybe that one foot back on the floor. You're going to sit on the edge of the chair, slide the leg back until you get some opening here. That could be a good alternative. If you've got both elbows and you are feeling that bendy and open and coordinated today, go for it. You can go further if you tend to do that. One more exhale. And then if you're back on any of the elbows, go ahead and take the left hand over, walk yourself up, and we'll switch to the other side. So left shin forward, right shin is out next to you. Don't bring the foot into the hip if not some of that space there. Take the hands back, lift that hip up, but leave the knee down on the right side. Option to go down to a forearm. As long as that knee is staying down and both forearms. There is no need to go down to a forearm. Try to find softness in your breath again. One more exhale. And then if you cut down onto any of the elbows, the right hand goes over, walk yourself up, unwind your legs, come back to center, and then we'll start to roll it down onto our backs. Bringing your knees into your chest. Rocking around a bit to relax the pelvis. Widening the feet, coming into happy baby. So knees are up by your armpits. Reaching up to hold the outsides of your feet or your shins or just the backs of your thighs. And this can be a really nice relaxing modification just to hold the knees up by your armpits. Notice points of compression. There are several points of compression in this pose. You soften those points of compression because there's a lot of resistance in compression. Feasible to soften. One more breath out. Release your feet in. Drop them down. And take your arms open. Let your knees roll over to the right side and then slide your left leg up to meet your right. So you're probably in a fairly relaxed twist. And if it feels weird, I want you to fidget until you find the right place. Like I really feel like opening my shoulders more there would feel good. Now I've got the left shoulder making contact. Vary this twist however you like. If you want to tuck up in the little ball, we usually do. You can do that too. One more exhale. Come back to the center, set your feet down. From here, rolling both knees over towards the left, then take your right leg up, second on top. I need to do that shoulder adjustment. My right shoulder is making contact. That feels best in my body right now. One more round of breath. Be back onto the center, back in the middle. Bring your Legs knock your knees against each other. Take one hand onto your belly and one hand onto your heart. As we're wrapping up, taking a small meditation of tuning into what is currently happening. A good way to do that is to go through a really thorough checklist is to think of all 5 of the senses. If you find yourself ever feeling kind of chaotic in your headspace or worried about what might be and you want to tune into the present moment instead, use some good tools. Think to yourself, what do I smell? What do I taste? Which might seem strange to you, but I'm sure there's some sort of general taste lingering in your mouth. What can you hear? What can you see? Even with your eyes closed, noticing the patterns that the light makes on your eyelids. And what can you touch? What are the temperature or texture or pressure feelings that are happening? Taking this with you and exploring it anytime you need to come into the present moment to tune into what is. You're welcome to remain in this position for your final rest, for your Shavasana, and also extend the legs out, the feet flop open. Your arms are open by your sides. See about giving a small wiggle of the shoulder blades, just a little bit more connected on the back, just a little bit, so that the front of the heart can be a bit more soft. Spending these next few minutes resting together before we wrap up. to come back to your body, back into your breath, maybe even back into some of those sensations that you were tuning into a little bit ago. After a bit, maybe you start to roll yourself over, turning to one side, pausing in gratitude for this practice, gratitude for making it through gathering today, having the air and the shelter we do. Eventually finding your own version of a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Seal our practice, releasing it all together. Big breath in. Bowing down to the love and light that resides in each of our hearts. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, April.
Thank you. Thanks, April. Have a hot week.
That was really good. It was very cooling. Thank you.
Yes, feel wonderful. Merci. Boot. Toodles.
Congrats anytime. Have wonderful days, everybody. Take good care, stay hydrated, and I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.